And I noticed this when I go back to Italy and I play for my friends the songs that are not released yet. They say, "Oh my
Mhm.
God, this song has an international sound." I don't see that as international sound. I see that as like, the sound that I'm creating, probably because of what I'm living.
Appreciate you being here. This podcast is about you, your journey in music, and we'll talk about the new record and how you got to where you are now.
Okay.
Well, where are you actually at? Where are you?
I'm in Fort Lauderdale.
In Florida?
Yes, Florida. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Were you born and
down
raised?
tropical. I was born in Italy, Calabria, in the southern part of Italy, actually just above Sicily, and I lived there for 25 years of my life. Then I moved here.
Okay. Wow. All right.
I
Well,
moved. Yeah.
what took you to? Well, actually, we'll get to Florida, but I'm curious. So, what was it like being born and raised in Colombia, Italy?
In Calabria, yes. So what was you have to know that Calabria is a beautiful, gorgeous land. Not just because it's my where I was from, but it's the only place except the islands of the peninsula that has three different seas on the top, on the bottom, and right and left. And it's a little bit like California. There's like sea, hills, and mountains 20 minutes away.
Okay. I'm from
Uh,
California. I'm from San Diego, so I know exactly what you're
okay,
talking about.
so it's actually, well, they used to call Calabria California just because it's like there's
Oh,
a
wow. That's
comparison in
interesting.
landscape. Yes,
Okay.
but
California. I like that.
yes, but the beauty is that essentially there's not really like a huge cities, and things are handled in a very simple way there. So growing up there, it was very important to me to be there in that condition, because it made me be more focused on music, learning
Mhm.
piano, um, exercising myself every day, going the nature, being in contact with really simple things that it's actually then where I come from and what I like to say with the songs that I write. I like to be close to simple people life.
Mhm.
And I come from a family where my father used to play every kind of instrument. I just limit myself to the piano because I think that's very difficult. I'm very jealous of my father, actually. And he used to sing when he was 18 years old. He had an incredible deal with a major recording label like Sony
Wow.
Music at that time. Yeah. But his parents didn't have enough money to support him in the transfer, and
Oh.
it was going from Calabria to Milan, that is in the extreme north of Italy.
Mhm.
So I have to say that he was never able to achieve his dream as a singer-songwriter, but he transferred me so much of his passion that there was actually, let's say, a way for him to realize his dream through me. And I think that's beautiful, because I'm his son, and
Mhm.
because there's his blood running in my blood as well. So
Sure.
I think when this happened, it's so beautiful. And from the other side, my mother, more squared, very very strong woman, always ready to surprise all of us in very tough moments of our life. As all the women, I think all the women are, you know, there's a beauty in what is like the woman world. They know how to make amazing sacrifices, supporting the most amazing great pains, and also um, put reserves, in this case for my life, reserves of money that we didn't know about. Then in the time that we had some tough time. This money were there to support all of us. My three sisters, they were like going to university, and me that I was going to the conservatory. So my mother teaching me all the discipline, all the like, if you really want to be who you want to be, you need to put yourself in the condition, not just of your talent, but also you need to give a discipline to this talent, so nothing will be very disorganized. Because people that deal with arts are usually very like crazy, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit. And she actually she gave me like she taught me how to organize all my thoughts and how to be disciplined in my life. So that was living there, and I'm so thankful, because I didn't have distractions. I didn't have the superficial things. I didn't have I had my friends, I had my piano, I had my music, I had my family.
Amazing.
But when I was 18 years old, I couldn't wait to run away because I feel like, okay, now I have my basis
right
there.
Okay.
So then when I was 18 years old, I moved to Rome.
Wow.
And I started, yes, it was like, Rome is exactly in the middle between Calabria and Milan. There are like, the two opposites. I moved to Rome, and I was doing the conservatory there, but at the same time, I was studying philosophy at the university. I was always fascinated by the development of the human thinking. I think that's very important from a psychological point of view, from like a human being point of view, also in my music, to know better about this matter. And so I started studying philosophy there, and then other things happened, because I remember like I was studying, was in a class that day was a history of Middle Eastern philosophy, something like that. And this professor was like, I mean, you had to take probably like 10 Red Bulls if you wanted to survive 30 minutes of his lesson. And I remember, I said, like, you know what, like, there was a friend of mine told me, like, why you don't come with me and you do the audition for this talent show that it's called Amici, but it's exactly the equivalent of, Got Talent. The Voice, kind of that in Italy. I said, well, like, I will just come with you, but I mean, like, I'm surrounded by these lessons, the conservatory, Chopin, Bach, whatever, I really want to stay in this vibe here, because when you then have access to TV shows or whatever, it's a complete different dimension. It's there are a lot of different factors that play in, right?
So this is actually a show equivalent. It was on television there in Italy.
It's the most famous Italian
like music show.
Yes, music show. That he's in, right now. It's 20 years that he's going. Like, I mean, it's crazy.
Wow.
And so I went there. I did the night before. I said, what, like, I really want to do. I wasn't writing my music at the time. Or I mean, I was trying, but it was really horrible. So I said, like, let me try to do something that, even if it's not mine, can be in some way mine. So it was the year that Lady Gaga came out with Poker Face. Was the
that was the smash of the year.
I mean, Lady Gaga. Oh, who is this beast? I mean, like, I really love her. I really love her. And I said, this is like a disco song, whatever. I want to do this acoustic. And I try to do something different, So I arrived there, audition in front of like very famous people, famous songwriter, singer, and the TV host that is like it's like the Italian Oprah Winfrey. And I started to do this song. And when I finished to sing the song, I knew that I was in. I had the feeling because, I mean, like I said, fuck, where I put myself in. I mean, like my best friend was with me in that time. I was just there because he told me, just come with me.
Right.
And okay, they interview me, whatever. And after 10 minutes of leaving the studios, I received a call. I was with my friend going back home. It's like, we are really interested. You're in.
Wow.
So I was on a phone and my best friend in front of me, that I had to tell him, look, they called me. It's brutal. It's horrible because I was just there to bring
support him, right?
To support him. So
and then you took the slot.
exactly. And like he handled the thing in a very amazing way. I love him so much still today.
Mm-hmm.
And he supported me so much during the 6 months that I was inside this TV show. So,
wow.
I said bye-bye to philosophy at that point. And, there was a set of me that was very happy not to hear anymore the professor. But, I never lost the importance of being, like having a culture, or studying, because we are here to try to heal the world with music. That's the intent, in my opinion, of a songwriter. Tell story, but it's healing. It's at the end, it's healing. Think about anytime Adele writes a song, she writes about her love story or her divorce or whatever, but she's healing, and a lot of people listen her stories can heal as well. So I never lose this opportunity to heal the world with music. But in order to do that, you need to have like a cultural substance with you, cultural background. So you need to study every day, you need to research, you need to read, you need to be informed, and most important thing, you need to live. You need to make your experiences, because if you don't do that, how can you be believable when you sing something?
Right.
So that was fantastic. I was there for 6 months, and being in a TV show for 6 months, or it kills you, or it gives you a lot of strength. Well, it gave me a lot of strength, because it's not easy.
Good. Yeah.
If you think it's like being in a kind of Big Brother, you're 24/7 with a camera that is somewhere,
following
right?
it. Yeah. Was it a contest? So you every week you would do a different song, and then the judges would vote, and then it kind of dwindles down as it goes. Okay.
Exactly like that. The only difference between the American version and the Italian version, that every day goes in the afternoon, an hour of the daily things happening in the school, because it's actually like a school. Okay, it's a TV school, so it's not.
So are they
a show.
filming the school? You guys at school and everything? Okay, so this is like a full-on reality show. It's not just
exactly.
Okay, we're gonna show up today. You're gonna sing whatever song the theme of the week is. You'll sing it in front of the judges. They're gonna say yes or no. They're gonna kick somebody off, and that's it. So
there's preparation. Yeah,
okay.
There's preparation. There are tears. There are fights. I mean, there are everything is very natural, but it's just it's very uncomfortable when you're not used to know that there's a camera everywhere. So
right,
and also the first times, it kind of before you say something, you think 300 times, because it's should I say that? So it was very weird at the beginning, but it was an amazing experience. After that, I started to tour Europe, all Italy, and to write my first songs, actually, because I felt that there was a moment where there were a lot of different songwriters, very important too, giving me some of their songs that I really appreciated. But inside of me, there was I wasn't really happy, because I wasn't telling my story. And I had some difficulty on be believable in that case, because I said, okay, that's your story and it's beautiful, but I need to be able to write my stories with my sound, with my way to sing to the world who I am. So, I started with the first songs really, really ugly. My God, were really ugly. But there was an exercise. It's like, starting to play piano. You start from the little things to the slowly, the bigger ones. I mean, before to do Chopin, you need to do a lot of like chopstick,
Right.
So I started, to write songs, and actually the first time I really wrote something that made sense, not just for me, but also for who was around me at the time. It was the equivalent of a very painful moment of my life.
Okay.
So I understood that it doesn't really matter, really trying to do your best every day, but there are moments of your life that just, open files, open channels of your, life,
Right. Mm-hmm.
where you can actually, come with something that it was really simple to write, but just because there was pain behind, there was a strong experience behind. And there was the case of a song that I still didn't release, but that got the attention of actually very important singers, even Bocelli, for example.
Wow.
But still didn't release this song. And
how did these people find the song? And actually, I'm curious to know, did this process start after the show had wrapped up, or is this happening during the show?
Yeah, it was after, because actually during that specific show that year, they didn't really allow us to sing our songs. There are like,
it was just whatever covers that you
deals
were doing
between the recording labels.
Gotcha.
And there was Sony Music that was like behind me at the time. Then like what happened, I started, to keep writing. And I was finishing the conservatory at the time. I was like keeping writing, touring, and do a ton of different experiences like all over Europe. A day, a friend of mine said, I was really, really struggling because, what America lived here in 2008, we started to live in Italy around 2012, 13.
Okay.
So it was very frustrating because culturally, economically, it was just like, sinking the entire country. And there wasn't any other stimulus that I found that was, really like, inspiring to me. So a friend of mine told me, let's go to New York. And I said, well, I really like it. If this is it, I want to go to UK. I want to go and study in London. I want to, keep with my studies. I want to go in one of these beautiful college, because I studied when I was 17 years old. I won a scholarship and I studied there at the St. John College in Cambridge. So I was in love with the place. And my friend said, oh, let's just go. Let's just take, a week of, let's go in a big city and let's have fun. I was like, okay, let's go. Well, when I landed, I tell you, I have goosebumps saying that. I felt that I always belonged to the place. I found I never visited before America. So like, and New York is New York. It's not really America. It's the land of the where everything can happen. But then I discovered that America was also something else. So I was into this, game, like with people everywhere, with lights everywhere, with everybody that didn't actually give a shit about anything else. Everybody was like there to live their specific moment. And I was like, I love this. I mean, like I was used to, to Italy, that there's the culture was a little bit different, but I really felt like, free there. And so like I can express myself in the way that I want here. Well, the problem is that I didn't have, my English wasn't good. But I say, I want to start to come here often and see if this is the place where I want to build my future day. So 2012, 2013, 2014, I came to the United States very often, and just New York, never been in any other place. I like these were the moments where I there was something new in my life that I knew that when the moment was when I was ready, that place was there. But actually, like, I came back to Italy, and in a moment of strong desperation, let's say like that, I remember, like, I expressed the desire to have a big cultural stimulus, because I said, like, between me and me, so like, if I don't get something really cool, I'll leave Italy right now. And actually, a week after, that's crazy, my sister calls me. She's a doctor, and she says, I'm visiting Maestro Franco Zeffirelli. That is him. I'll show you. I have him here. That's him. So
Oh, wow.
He is the most famous Italian director of movie, theater, opera. I mean, he was the one that opened the Met in New York in 50.
Wow.
He was the one that discovered DiCaprio, was the one that discovered, like, a ton, like the Hamlet, the Jesus of Nazareth, all these kind of movie. All Hollywood was able to come in Italy because of him.
Wow.
He was a best friend with Liz Taylor, Michael Jackson. I mean, like, so she said, he wants to meet you. And I was at the conservatory. I take a taxi and I go to his home. That was the most amazing moment of my life. 2 hours with him talking about, music, classical music. Maria Callas, there was, one of his best friends. And at the end of the meeting, after 2 hours, he said, from today, we will never leave each other. I want to see you every day. So I started to work with him. And I had the honor, the pleasure to work with him. Think about when he was 23 years old, that was my age when I was talking to. He was, walking in the streets of Paris with Coco Chanel, Salvador Dali. He was able to be witness and creator of a world that cannot exist anymore. And I was there witnessing his story. So I worked with him for, a lot of different years. And when I finally decided to move to New York, he supported me. He was kind of upset at the beginning because, he wanted me to stay there. But I said, I need to build my future. And he really supported me. He helped me also in this decision. And it was because of him that when I moved in the United States, then I also was be able to meet Cher, actually, and become friends with her as well. Yeah. Because he did with Mussolini also with Cher. It's a beautiful movie with Cher, John Plowright, Judi Dench, Maggie Smith. Amazing movie. So I moved to New York in Harlem. That was the place where I was so lucky to be in contact with all the music that I always listened since when I was a child. Motown, soul, gospel, and I learned a lot from the people living there, because in Harlem there's still, like, music happening in the streets. You still see, like, people carrying their stereo with cassette and walking like that, like in the 80s. It was just like, a movie for me. I started to go to the first, gospel functions, listening the real gospel choirs, Apollo Theater. I was in heaven. And that's when I started to write, in English, to start to write in English. and also to understand that my music was taking a different direction, but also a different sound. So it's weird because sounds is really affected by the things that you live. And I noticed this when I go back to Italy and I play for my friends the songs that are not released yet. They say, "Oh my God, this song has an international sound." I don't see that as international sound. I see that as like, the sound that I'm creating, probably because of what I'm living, you know. So I started to work for Columbia University. Jamal Joseph, that I met in the elevator at in Harlem. He had an incredible story, and he became professor with Black Panthers. Think about, and he became professor of law at the Columbia University, and he was writing movies for them. August Rush. If you ever seen August Rush,
Yeah.
with
Wow.
that movie was written by him, and I remember watching that movie and crying myself, it was beautiful. Anyway, he helped me to write soundtracks for the movies produced by Columbia University. So that was my first
Oh, you were like
real.
scoring the movie?
Yes,
That's
that's
amazing. Okay.
another of my passion, because helped a lot trained by classical, with classical music. For me, it's like I close my eyes, you tell me a theme, and I just start to compose for piano orchestra, string quartet. Like, I mean, it's something that is really inside me, and I feel that really beautiful to make it. And then I moved to Los Angeles. Why? Because music obviously called me there, and I found a different America in Los Angeles, because I was used to to see people walking everywhere. I said, first time I went to Los Angeles, where are the people walking here?
They're all sitting in the cars in traffic.
Exactly. So I wasn't used to, like, think about the first time I started to live in Los Angeles was the beginning of May 2016. I took an Uber to go to another place of the town, and I said, okay, I take just the Uber, it leaves me there, and I'll start to walk everywhere. And start I mean, like, I noticed that these blocks were like eternal, and there was nothing really to be, like, there were like just blocks, concrete blocks. And I said, okay, there's probably a different way to live the city here. So it was really difficult for me at the beginning to get used to the reality, and it took me actually different years till the moment that it's also very difficult to make friends in Los Angeles, because it's so big that it's really almost impossible if you don't have connections, friends of friends, and friends that present like put you in contact with other friends. It's really impossible to know anybody there. So I through a charity event, I met what became my producer, Chico Bennett. And Chico Bennett, he was 19 years old when he started to work with Prince. He worked all his life with Prince and Madonna and Lady Gaga, and I mean, a ton of Killers, and a ton of people. And I was there saying, like, okay, there's me too now, just working on some little stuff. We started to produce one song. This song is called Broken, and he really loved this record. And this was September 2018. But it was, let's start to work together and see how we feel about each other. It wasn't actually till March of the following year that we really started to work on an EP, because he really loved the project, and he said, let's work on an EP, let's do that. And in that moment there, I realized that Chico wasn't just like a great musician, great producer, but he became really a great friend. He is my we call each other brother from another mother, because really their connection between us, it's huge. And you know, we worked on this EP. They was supposed to come out March of 2020.
Okay.
March 7, 2020. Does it remind you something?
Wait, what happened in
March.
March of 2020? No,
Ah!
I'm just kidding.
Well, you know, like so we started to showcase the EP like the November 2019. We were ready to launch this EP March 2020, and pandemic started.
Right.
So you know, the world was very, very confused. Where are we going? What is going on? What is happening? And music industry was stalled. I mean, like there was probably, you know, no other industry that actually struggled so much like music industry. The only people that were able to release something were, you know, like, you know, from Lady Gaga, Elton John, Miley
Taylor
Cyrus.
Swift.
I mean, Taylor
Puts out
Swift. I mean,
took two records out.
people that can just you know, do these and their Instagram, their followers, or they, you know, like everything is like there already. But for people that are trying to you know, start
Right. Up
their
and coming
journey,
artists.
yeah, it's very difficult. But what I said like, you know, let's do what I did when I started the talent show. I'll take covers and I will change completely these covers, and I will publish these covers every day on YouTube. Actually, I was able to make in 1 week 1.8 million people there,
Wow.
like following or reaching, you
Watching,
know,
yeah.
watching that. And you cannot do anymore these numbers because people are no longer at home. I mean, like, you need to be somebody else to make it. But
They burned out on watching people online now.
you know, like I was so happy, and you know, also gave me it started to give me, like, you know, the possibility to have an exchange with the American audience, and not just American. Actually, I discovered that the South American audience was going crazy, and still today. Like, so I'm actually, like, you know, I'm thinking about doing a Spanish song as next release. That I speak different language, and Spanish is one of these. I love singing in Spanish. I think it's very beautiful. And you know, at the end, like, we are people living the world. I don't think about, you know, country or confines or whatever. We are all here, and if we can do these also in different language for different market, why not, right?
Right.
So nothing. EP is not released yet, but on December 2021, I was so over all these allow me the word bullshit that we were living, you know, like giving us excuses for not to do something, that I said, I don't care. I want to release a song. I wanna, as I said at the beginning, trying to heal what in my opinion is important to heal. So I just to test that everything was going to be fine, I released the first song, just piano and voice. It was Prayer. It was actually a moment of this one where you talk with yourself and you just pray for something better coming. Okay. And there wasn't supposed to be, you know, the first real release, but I wanted to be sure that everything was working nice when my first real release was coming. And actually, this was We Are the Power. They came out on December 17th. We Are the Power is a song that it really unites everybody on the deal that is just without all, you know, the single strengths of this, you know, of everybody, that we can make something happen in this world, something really nice. And I said, I want to release this. It will be also a good way to be received probably during the holidays. You know, everybody during the holidays, I don't know what just during the holidays, but like is trying to find a way to think better. And so I decided, you know what, I will doing this song what I always dream to do: gospel, bringing all my passion, the soul, in a church, like my journey started in the United States, in Harlem. And that was it. We Are the Power came out December 17th, was beautiful, was received really, really, really well. And the message arrived. It was my first release, so there's a lot of way, a lot of things to build still, because it's just the beginning, and there will be. I'm very convinced that when you do art, there's never I arrived there, because in the moment that you arrive, you see like that there's another huge mountain to climb. And okay, so January, February usually are kind of like February, everything really restarts. January, people are still kind of sleeping from the holidays. I wanted to release the second single, and I wanted to be a bridge in between We Are the Power and the EP. So I said, this time, I want something more upbeat. I want to still have the Motown inside, but I want to bring this Motown to a much more contemporary world. And I wanted to, we are still living in very unprecedented time. It's like we are going, from pandemic to wars to, and there's something interesting. This morning I was reading an article, and there was this person that was saying, I feel that the people that are living in the world right now are people elected, because these are really unprecedented time. And if we are living this right now, it means that also we can make something good coming from this mess. And I said, that's very inspiring. Didn't think about that. So if I'm here, it can be that I will be able to change the story in some way. And think about, if every human being think about that, think in this way, it can be a huge change, huge. So I said, thinking about find my way, it doesn't matter the surrounding, the challenges that are always there, ready to, be in our lives as obstacles, as signs. But if we really want what we desire, we can make it happen. And this was Find My Way. And I told this story through my mother's, my mother teaching me that, the discipline that anything I want, I can get, but just if I open my heart. And if I, if I open my heart, essentially, and if I'm very disciplined. So that was Find My Way. That came out March 24th. It's going really, really well, actually. Let's see. I'm not usually somebody that is obsessed with numbers, but the industry is 147,000 views. So 7 days, it's good.
That's huge.
For somebody that is just a second release, it's good.
That is amazing.
And there was a beautiful production with Chico. Kind of long, a month, because actually the song was keeping changing direction all the time. But I'm really, really happy of what the result is, and I'm already looking forward to the next release. That probably will be the EP or that Spanish song that I'm working
Amazing. On. Very, very cool. Well, I love what you got going on currently, Stefano, and I appreciate your time. This has been awesome. What took you then to Florida? When did you move to Florida? I'm just curious now.
I moved to Florida. We were not before the pandemic. That was like the best thing, because Florida was very kind of liberal during the pandemic. There wasn't any real lockdown, and that let a lot of people actually die for that. But it also let's say, you know, there were people dying during the pandemic for the health issue, and there are people today struggling with psychological health issues, because they were caged in apartments, they were caged in, you know, like, and Los Angeles and New York were probably the two worst reality to live in that time. So I was really, really happy to be here. Really blessed, I have to say. I love Florida. I love the heat. It makes me very happy. It makes me more vibrant. I have my studio here. I love people. You know, I think a lot of time the sun gives people, you know, more happiness. So everybody is
that
very,
vitamin D,
you know,
man.
exactly. It's like when you go to Hawaii, that you see that everybody is very smiling with like flowers and then whatever. It's like, why people are so nice here? Well, you know, it's paradise.
You live in paradise, right? Exactly.
So, but I never still been in Nashville, and I can't wait to come. It was actually one of the first places I wanted to visit, but the pandemic started and I didn't do it. But I really, really want to come there.
Yeah, we just moved here. I mean, I grew up in Southern California, in San Diego, so just south of LA. And then my family and we moved here February of last year. So we've been here a little over a year now. We absolutely love it.
San Diego is beautiful too.
Yeah, it is.
It's gorgeous. There was something so funny. That happened in San Diego last year in September. I like to, when I go to California, I lived there for 5 years, and but when I go to California, I always like to do a stop in Tijuana.
Oh yeah, I used to go to Tijuana all the time when I was growing up.
Oh my God. There's the restaurant, the very famous restaurant where like actually the Caesar salad was invented.
Yes. Yeah.
But they do some taco. I mean, Tijuana is one of the best places to eat for me. So I go there, and when I come back, you know, I take the train from Union Station in San Diego, and I always stop a little Italy. Well, the last time I went there was an Italian procession of a saint that is really like Italian stuff that I always witnessed since when I was a child. And I was there, so like, I'm not new. I'm in Italy here.
That's cool. So it actually it holds up. Somebody born and raised in Italy comes to San Diego, goes to Little Italy, and that's cool. That's cool to know, because I'm like, I always thought about that. I'm like, if somebody from Italy came here, are they going to be like, what is this noise? Like what is this? But
no,
that's
it's
cool
really
that it
authentic.
held up. Okay, that's cool to know. That is funny. Well, awesome, Stefano. Thank you so much. I have one more quick question for you. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Always be inspired by something. Always follow your dreams. You know, be always concentrated in what, you know, your dreams are, and you will be able to find the way to make the dream possible. I promise.